Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. How are you all doing? My name is Amanda Ellis and a warm welcome to my channel. Today, unbelievably, is October the 1st, 2025. Cannot believe that we are now in the last segment, as it were, of this year. But that is where we are, and I'm going to do a reading for the month ahead. I'm being drawn back, though, actually, before I even start, to the beginning of this year. And those of you that watched my early videos from this year will remember that I said that numerologically, this year is a number 9, which is all about, well, it's about many things, but action, drive, motivation. It's a fast-paced year. It was always going to be a fast-paced year. And it feels as though the last few months of this year are going to carry on in the same thread. Now, many of us are feeling tired, overwhelmed, wanting to get off the ride, might not want to hear me say that it's still going to carry on being fast-paced. But we do have an opportunity this month in October to, if not get off the ride, at least maybe appreciate the journey a little bit more. Look back on how far we've come with a view to what is coming up also in the months of November and December in particular. You know, October is obviously Libra season, and living with a Libran, Libra is all about trying to find the balance, okay? Decision making or lack of, trying to get to decisions. The Justice card, if we look at the Justice card in the tarot, I particularly like this depiction, which has the lady who is always blindfolded, but she has with her both a sword and a feather. I'm going to call that an angel feather. But yeah, she's seeking justice. She's trying to make decisions. She's trying to make things right. So it feels as though this is a month where we are trying to make things right, maybe with others, with ourselves, with our own conscience. Getting back on track is also something else that I'm hearing Metatron say, getting back on track. In fact, there's a few things that I've written down here which I'll just mention, and these feel more like themes for the month that have been given to me, and also feel very true for myself right now as well. To understand them before I say what they are, the context is having survived, and I want to say having survived eclipse season. So we had a solar eclipse, we had a lunar eclipse in September, which, to be honest, has changed everything pretty much forever. Where we were at the start of September is not where we now are at the start of October. It's as though the landscape, collectively and personally and individually, is forever changed because it's meant to be. You might not actually recognise who you were literally a month ago. The changes with regards to our frequency, our attitude, our outlook, our focus feels fundamentally different. If it doesn't, I feel as though there is still an opportunity for that to happen to you. If you've maybe been too fixed in a position, not willing to maybe move with the energies, it's as though those energies are going to catch up with everybody and bring in the changes that are necessary. Because if we think that this year is a number 9 numerological year, I'm also feeling as though one of its purposes was to clear out, very much like the element that it represents, which is fire, clear out the dead wood, clear out that which we cannot take into 2026, because 2026 is a number 1 numerological year, and a number 1 numerological year links into new beginnings. We cannot have the new beginning if we are carrying, I'm hearing dead wood with us, burden that we need to put down. So these last few months, there's an opportunity to do that. I have felt it already happening in my own life in unexpected ways, in beautiful ways as well. But I feel as though they happened in particular because I was very aware of the need to surrender, let go of control, and allow spirit to do what spirit needed to do, okay? To bring in the changes that affect me and affect others. I've seen it in my family life, I'm seeing it in my professional life, and it's absolutely a time to have trust and faith that wherever we are being moved to and wherever we're being taken to, we will be not just looked after, but it's as though Metatron is showing me this brand new vista, okay? It's as though we're looking out of a completely new window, and everything looks different because everything is meant to be different. It's interesting as well, this justice card, as I say, traditionally always the person is blindfolded, but I'm feeling as though the blindfold is being taken off, and it's as though we can clearly see now what we are dealing with. So back to some of these messages that I got from Metatron. I've given you the context of where we've been over, the last month with all the eclipses and all the change that's happened. Right now, October the 1st, start of a new month, I've written these things down. The cold light of day. The cold light of day. I'm also hearing no hiding place. Cold light of day, no hiding place. This is where we are. This is what's happening. Again, now, what do we do about it? I've also written sobering up. Now, for some people, that might be literal sobering up with regards to maybe drugs, alcohol, any addiction that you've had going on. It doesn't have to be, but it's more Metatron saying the party's over. Now, what he doesn't mean is that this is the end of joy and fun and laughter and happiness. That's not what he's saying. It's more that if we've been living with, our head in the sand, not wanting to face what the eclipse forced us to face, it's a time of sobering up. With regards to the fact that it's time to get your head out of the sand, look at what's going on, and again, deal with it. Now, this can feel quite harsh and quite masculine in terms of energy. Just deal with it, take action. But remember, this is a number 9 year. It's about exactly that. And if we haven't been doing it, whatever it is, to help get us to a place where a new beginning is going to be possible, it's as though spirit is dragging us, some of us screaming, to do what is required for our own benefit so that we can maximize the potential for next year. And we will be helped. We absolutely will be helped. We don't have to do this alone. But again, the energy of surrendering and letting go of control and allowing spirit to bring in the miracle zone or the unexpected is very required. So the cold light of day, sobering up, and I've also written down stark reality. And then we also heard the party is over. Again, back to the justice card. With regards to the party is over, this can also be a case of burning the candle at both ends. Get into a place where you just feel very depleted, very exhausted. I know myself, I have been feeling like that, and I've had to address it. I still am addressing it and needing to look at that, because absolutely one addiction can be work. There are many workaholics out there. So that might be coming up for you as well. It could be, over perfectionism. It's anything whereby your scales are tipping into a deficit to your own disadvantage. And what you're being encouraged to do this October is to take life, grab it by both hands, and just deal with what needs to be dealt with. Okay. Now, the elements that are supporting us at this time, yes, Libra is linked into air. Okay, so we have the air element, But the one that I'm really wanting to work with today is actually the fifth element, which is ether. Within the range of sprays that we sell, we do have sprays linked into all of the elements. I actually chose to call the fifth element not ether, but the cosmos element. It just, I don't know, it felt more resonant to me. And if I just show you the colour that links into the cosmos element, it is a beautiful lavender. It's I love the colour of it. And this colour is also about helping us to get back into balance. Why I want to bring in the energy of ether, though, and cosmos, is that this definitely feels as though it's a month to be looking at what we have manifested up to now, i.e. what are we dealing with, but knowing that we can manifest something different, not just for the last section of this year, but for next year. If you're truthful, I'd just like us to spend a moment thinking about what we have been able to achieve this year. Now, it doesn't have to be where people's minds automatically go in terms of, I have achieved, I don't know, a bigger bank balance or a big red sports car or, materialistic things. What you have achieved is also about, I don't know, surviving an illness, or coming to terms with a diagnosis, continuing and getting stronger from a journey linked into grief. So achievements can be many different things. They can feel as though they are small or big. But to be honest, any achievement is worth celebrating. And I just think, again, this month of October is just a good time period just to take a look back at the last 9 months and see how you have been operating. Only you can answer that truthfully. But to be honest, this month is a month of truth. It's a month of dealing with the true situation that we find ourselves in, making decisions that might need to be made based on that truth, etc. So take a look back over the last 9 months, how it's gone, whether it's felt balanced, what needs to be tweaked, what can be improved, what you'd like to start, etc. Okay. I've also written one other thing down on this piece of paper. So cold light of day, sobering up, stark reality, party's over. But I've also written down, show me what you've got. And what I mean by that is that feels like that's to life, Show me what you've got, but also to ourselves. It's almost like a rhetorical question. It's the universe saying to us, show us what you've got. Okay, so Thomas, Fred, Jane, Amanda, show us what you've got. Show us what you're made of. Show us what you've learnt. Show us what you've acquired in terms of wisdom, for example, or frequency, etc. Show me what you've listened to. Show me who you are. Show me who you are. This is a month of showing who we are. And the truth is that, we can look at our own reflection energetically and physically. We might like what we see, we might not. We might want to change things, we might not. That's for us to appraise. But there's also, we can't avoid the fact that we live in a world of billions of people. So show me what you've got is also we're seeing what other people are about. And sometimes it's not very pretty right now. And I think many of us who are very sensitive, we've gone through a period over the last month of maybe feeling disappointed by humanity, feeling, I've definitely had moments in terms of, are we actually going to get anywhere in this lifetime with regards to awakening? And I'm not meaning to sound depressive with regards to that. I'm just being real and I'm being truthful. Yes, the seeds are growing and flourishing, and I am by nature a glass half full girl and always will be. But there's a lot of darkness out there. You don't need me to tell you that. And it can get dispiriting. it can get dispiriting. And Metatron's saying that word dispiriting is interesting as well, because it's almost like, is it, I can't remember what the word is. I'm being taken back to almost like a lifetime where, is it divested? Divested of your frock, you know, linked into a churchy type lifetime where you're not worthy of wearing clerical robes or something. I can't quite get the word that I'm after. But dispirited, it's as though what is going on out there at the moment is robbing us of our spirit if we're not careful. Now, it can't if we are protecting ourselves and we are doing what we can to help ourselves. But if we are just laying ourselves open to any Tom, Dick and Harry that wants to have a pop at us, you know, wants to argue with us, wants to just spew all their vileness, and we're looking at it and we're reading it and we're watching it, there can be a distortion in the field. So October is a month to get back in touch with our innate spirit that is godly and good and pure, no matter what else is going on around us in the wider world. So, yeah, these are just some of the messages that have come through so far. I have got a few cards out here, which I'm going to show you now. Just pulled them off camera, really, to sort of try and tune into what was going on. And what's interesting is that one card that came through was this one. It says seer. It says see beyond the current situation. It looks like a sort of Gypsy Rose Lee type, you know, fortune teller sitting there huddled over a crystal ball. But what interested me was the fact that you can't see her eyes. So we've got two cards here where you can't see somebody's eyes. This card has a lady who is avoiding eye contact. Her eyes are covered, but yet she is a seer. See beyond the current situation. And we've got the Justice card, and she is blindfolded as well. So how can you make decisions if you can't even see what you're doing? How can you see into the future if you are deliberately veiled? This feels as though it's a time for ripping off, you know, the blindfolds and seeing clearly. You know, all this crap, quite frankly, you know, with fortune telling that's out there. There's something here about jumbled energies. Who you see isn't really who you think they are. It's all cloak and daggers type energy. And maybe if that is out there, which it is, maybe that's just a reflection of what we've been doing to ourselves as well, you know? The right hand can't see what the left hand is doing type energy. What have we been doing to ourselves, to our detriment, that now it is time to lift the veil, uncover, and deal with? Another card that came out was the Eagle, being able to see things from a higher perspective. And we've also got the Arrow card, which says surround yourself with protective energy. Sorry, my nose is just really itchy. Many people will tell you, don't know why Spirit does this, but it's just like when you're really onto something, it's like goes crazy. Let's pull a few more cards and see what's going on with this energy. Oh, Bewitched. She did that, didn't she, at the start of the Bewitched with the nose? Yeah, it's like people have been bewitched by witches, by spellcasters. I mean, ain't that the truth? Really is the truth, especially in the spiritual community. But maybe October will be a month of clarity coming back. Wouldn't that be nice? Let's hope anyway, guys. Let's hope. Let's pull some cards. Which deck shall I go for? Let's go for this one. What is this deck? Tarot Grand Luxe by Ciro Marchetti. Probably said that all wrong. Okay, October, month ahead. Let's have 3 cards, please. Oh, they're not coming out very well. There's 2 that's fallen out. Let's have the 3rd. Okay. Seven of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Yeah, Seven of Cups is exactly what I was just talking about. It's like, is it a fish? Is it a monkey? Is it a bear? Is it a human person? Trickery. Trickery is afoot. Always has been. Maybe we're just seeing through it more now. I think we are. I think the matrix is breaking down more and more, actually. I really do believe that. Or is it just that we're at a frequency where we're able to see it now? Because, to be honest, I also look around and some people haven't got the faintest idea. And I'm not judging that. It's just observing it. Some people are really, really awake and breaking out of the matrix more. Sometimes to just get into another matrix. But anyway, at least they're seeing that reality is not quite as they thought it was. I did a post yesterday on social media where I showed a photograph of a bot farm. Not a butt farm. A bot farm. A bot farm. Bots. I had an experience where I was trying to reason with this person. And I realised they were a bloody bot. You know, they weren't even real. So, yeah, there's been all sorts of programmes recently on these bot farms. And in all seriousness, it is just thousands and hundreds of thousands of messages going across social media all the time. They're not even real people. The people you're arguing with, they're not necessarily even real. So is social media real? Is this real? I don't know. I think I'm real. I'm sitting here in my home. Yes, I'm real. But it's a minefield. What's real and what's not real? So yeah, Seven of Cups. But anyway, before that, these are the cards that we've got. We've got the World. So this is, again, just as if Spirit hasn't already told us, ramming home, end of one cycle. End of the world as you know it. Now, hold on, I need to look up the lyrics to that. Wasn't that a song by REM? It's the REM. They were a good band. Are they still going? I think they did a song called End of the World. Yeah, they did. Oh, okay, right. As I look at my phone, I've got a news flash. The new COVID variants to worry about. Do people still worry about it? Maybe they do. Not in my world, I don't. But anyway, that's my reality. You can have a different reality. That's the whole thing about being in the matrix. We're all in a matrix to a degree. It's just what version of it are you in? Right, the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine, brackets. It says, that's great. It starts with an earthquake. Birds and snakes and aeroplanes. And Lenny Bruce is not afraid. No idea who Lenny Bruce is. Eye of a hurricane. Listen to yourself churn. World serves its own needs. Don't misserve your own needs. Yes. Okay, I'm not going to read it all. It goes on a bit, to be honest. But anyway, I'll link that song below. I'm hearing it's the end of the world as we know it. I think the brackets are important. And I feel fine. Okay. The end of a cycle in your life has ended, is closing out. A version of this world is closing out. We might mourn what is... God, did you hear that? Screeching of brakes? We might mourn what is leaving, but we have to face cold reality of day. Yeah, the world is different. It looks different. What are we going to do about it? Two of Coins is the next card. Look at that. Two of Coins. Two of Pentacles. Choice point. He's on a tightrope. It's a jester on a tight, I can't speak, on a tight rope. And there are two ladders. Which one is he going to go and climb? One ladder takes you to one dimension and one frequency and one reality and one part of the matrix, and another ladder takes you to somewhere else entirely. But yet we're all living in the same world. And then we've got the good old King of Wands. Yes, of course we've got the King of Wands, because it's what I said at the beginning of this video. The end part of a number 9 year will do what it needs to do to get us to the new beginning. And I am wondering whether I've been given that those song lyrics, because yeah, it mentions earthquake, it mentions hurricane, but the brackets are important, and I feel fine. Whatever is occurring, whatever is to happen, we will be okay. But again, back to the energy of protection, this arrow card, protection. Actually, one thing, I was just pulling some runes off camera before I started this, and I did pull the rune of the warrior, which is actually a straightforward arrow, basically pointing upward. If you look at this card, we've also got the arrow. It feels as though this is a time for the warriors to get back up on their feet. I mean, maybe you haven't been floored by, the past few weeks' energies. I have, but maybe I'm being shown two scenarios. Either it's been a whirlwind of energy and things have changed or are changing, and as I say, we're getting back up on our feet, or there's been other people who've been a bit on the snooze button. I mean, I don't know how you snooze through what has been occurring, but some people have been, I'm hearing. Tell you a funny story, actually. John, my husband, when he was younger, he is famous for having been the only person I know to have fallen asleep in a nightclub. And, back in the day when we were younger, you went to a nightclub, it probably is still the same, it's just haven't been for decades. You used to come out with your ears ringing because it was so loud. How you could possibly fall asleep, I really don't know, but he managed it. But he's a Libran. There's a reason why I'm telling you this story, because Librans are pretty balanced people. He certainly is anyway, very balanced. Despite being an air sign, it's very grounded, very practical. They're good people to have on your team. So there's something there in that whatever is kicking off around us, don't get into the drama of it all. There's enough already happening with all this 9 amplified energy. Try and be like this guy on the tightrope, yeah? Keeping his balance. As well as the King of Wands, we've also got the Queen of Swords, which I quite like. I quite like the balance of, it's fire and air, isn't it? Swords is air, wands is fire. So we've got the feminine energy showing the qualities of air and critical thinking, discernment, keeping a cool head. And then we've also got this sort of hot-headed masculine energy as well. Hopefully they sort of balance themselves out. Let's just pull a few more cards as well. Let's just have 2 more cards. So, okay, we've got the Hermit card has just popped out. Yes, that feels fitting. It particularly feels fitting because also on the bottom of the deck we have the Page of Swords. Truths. I've been banging on about truths, decisions, cold light of day, reckoning moments. That is the Page of Swords energy, especially backed up by a Queen. And then, we've got the Hermit. Okay, so the Hermit is thinking, pondering, but ultimately has to do something with it because there is a path ahead. There is a path ahead. Can't just be reflecting forever. There is a path that needs to be walked. One more card for October going forward. That one? Okay. And this card, the way it came out, I wanted to say it felt problematic. It's a bit like my Leo, my cat. It's like being a bit naughty, playing up a bit mischievous. What is the card? The Knight of Cups. Playfulness. Emotional. Not particularly focused. Not particularly... This is the analogy I'm being given. Knight of Cups. The journey is to be taken. The path is there. But this knight can get very distracted. Very distracted. Whether it be by a pretty girl, smell of a cake, whatever it is derailment. But in a very innocent way, And I think that Knight of Cups is showing up because it's an archetypal energy that we've got within us right now. We're trying to make decisions. We're trying to make plans. We're trying to act. We're trying to do. We know there's all this change happening. We know there's all this smoke and mirrors, but there's also this sort of like mischievous energy, which is like, nah, let's just open another packet of hobnobs, you know? Biscuits. Cookies, if you're in America. Yes. Okay. Right. Now I wanted to pull a card from the Metatron deck. But let's also now just weave in a bit of fifth element. So this is the Cosmos Elemental. What you put out is what you get back. And the command on this spray with this Cosmos element is expand. Metatron makes me laugh. He's just showing me this stupid, really, but you know, like a jack in the box. So expand. So it's as though our energy has been very compressed. Maybe we haven't been showing the world who we really are for whatever reason, or just we've been compressed because of circumstances, life, duties, responsibilities, etc. Yeah. But the jack in the box has to spring out at some point, yeah? So he springs out and it's like, I'm here. And it's like, now what? You know, that's the energy right now. It's like we've expanded, we have grown, we've evolved. Ta-da! Now what? Now what? Now what? I don't know. That's your question. Now what are you going to do? Now what are you going to do? I'm being shown a giraffe. It's not as random as it sounds. So a giraffe is one of the tallest animals, of course, in the world with the longest neck. And what can a giraffe do that other animals can't? They can see much further. They can see different perspectives. They can pick fruit from the highest part of the tree. That beautiful, I don't know, piece of fruit that everybody else on the ground is eyeing up because it looks the juiciest peach or the plumpest cherry. But you can't get to it because you're down there. The giraffe can. So something about the quality of giraffe coming in for all of us as well, that actually, you know, cosmos is expand. It's to do with reach for the highest fruit. Reach for the highest fruit. Reach for the biggest goal, okay? Don't keep yourself small. Show up, this is who I am, and then go for it type energy. But you're going to have to do it through this fog of other people's confusion, the fog of the collective. You've got to be the brightest, shiniest star. That's what I'm feeling. Show up in all your glory. Really, really feel that. And this feels a spray to help us with that, because it's about expanding, not shrinking back. Because let's face it, my friends, these times in our world, and maybe in your personal life as well, it's easy to want to shrink back, to hide. It's just too overwhelming. It's just too much. But if you can just use the element of ether to help support you to keep on expanding no matter what, and your higher self and your soul that is actually delighted by the complexities of these times, believe it or not, by the difficulties, because it gives it a chance to grow much faster than through very easy times where we just sail through and not much happens. Let's pull a card from Metatron. Archangel Metatron. The month of October. So this is a self-mastery deck, and there are 55 themes within this deck. So I'm asking, as I'm pulling it for the month of October, what is it that we are meant to be mastering or looking at in the month of October? We've got the card of as above, so below. This one's been coming up quite a bit recently. Card number 41. As above, so below, heaven and earth. Do you know, I'm actually going to go to what I wrote about this card all those years ago. Because it's one that never gets pulled by me, not hardly ever. Have pulled it frequently recently, but over the last few years since this deck has been out, I never ever used to pull this card when I was doing collective reads like this. I've actually forgotten what I even wrote, so I'm quite intrigued to see. So it says, you are reminded that the rewards of heaven are accessible to you now here on earth. Okay, you don't have to wait for an imaginary place and a state of plenty and peace, a heaven that is out of reach and inaccessible. Heaven can be here today, as can all the glories of the beauty of God available in each waking moment. Remember we were just working with ether, with the cosmos, which is asking us to bring in, what do you want to manifest? The kingdom of God, basically. I'll just put the card up again. It says, look at the symmetry of the majestic blossoming tree reflected in the water. It shows that all is the same, both above and below. We realise this when we stop to pause and consider all that we came from, all that we are and all that we will become. The cycle of life and the sacred wheel show us there is no beginning and no end. Likewise, there is no place outside ourselves. It is all connected, all joined, all one. The soft, luscious colours of the tree and its bountiful riches speak to our heart of the jewels of heaven, which are free to all, not needing to be earned or worked towards. This represents our natural state of abundance and joy and our eternal birthright always. The tree is overladen with petals, the flowering branches reaching out and extending down to the earth, offer enough for everyone. It's just waiting to be noticed, appreciated and absorbed. Heaven is here, it says. So it goes on, but I also want to bring up the part here where it talks about spiritual growth requires both opening up to higher states, but also grounding ourselves. Otherwise, anything gained is temporary, fleeting and unbalanced. I'm being shown the giraffe again because, you know, this animal that is basically in the element of air because it's so tall, but it is also an animal that has its feet on the ground also. So there's something there with regards to keep your feet on the ground. Practicality coming in this month as well, linked into dealing with the cold light of day, sobering up, stark reality, etc. Being able to see further, being able to manifest, but also being grounded. There's a lot of ungroundedness right now out there. Okay, let's finish with a card from the Christ Consciousness deck. Let's see what we get. I also said I was going to pull a crystal card as well, so we'll do that. Okay, Christ Consciousness, October. What is the thing that we're going to be most tested by? Oh, gosh. Well, you couldn't see that, I know, but I saw it. That literally just went like that, like grease lightning. What are we going to be most tested by? Forgiveness, again. Forgiveness sets you free. I've said many times, forgiveness is the main thing that is blocking our ascension path at the moment and our own personal awakening. But also the lion heart, stand firm. Yeah, There's a lot of people not wanting to stand firm and stay true to their principles right now because they're scared, they're frightened of the mob mentality, what people are going to say, am I going to be cancelled, all of this stuff. Stand firm with regards to what you believe in. Be a lionheart. Be a lionheart. But we've also got the energy of forgiveness. And I rather love the fact that, again, forgiveness comes in with this violet energy. So maybe bringing down the violet flame, working with the energy of Archangel Zadkiel, which is the purple ray, working with the cosmos element, which is also violet, is going to help to get you into a state of balance, because if you're not in balance, you're not going to be able to forgive in the first place. There's a lot going on. Okay, let's see about crystals then. Where do I want to go with that? Judy Hall deck. Let's give it a shuffle. See what crystal energy wants to come up to support us this October. Hold on, there's a card upside down which is catching my eye, which isn't the right way to do it. Okay. October, crystal energies to support us. I'm feeling amethyst. Rainbow Myonite. That's quite an expensive crystal. I have got one, not to show you. Tracy's got it. It goes into the creation of one of the sprays. It's number 22, Rainbow Myonite. I know that that is a very helpful crystal with regards to stabilising and balancing the chakra system generally. Sorry, I keep knocking the mic today. I don't know why. Let's just see what else it says about it. Card 22. It's a very beautiful crystal. It sort of shimmers when you put it up to the light. Oh, it's called the Rainbow Bridge. Iridescent. Yeah, it's iridescent. It bridges this world and the rest of creation. It heals unconditionally and assists the shift to a new level of consciousness. It's helpful if you are a leader. When you raise your vibration, helps to de-energize old patterns, release karmic incrustations, and toxic dross from your etheric body. God, that's really quite graphic, isn't it? You know, imagine going to a doctor and the doctor says, I'm going to de-energize old patterns and release karmic incrustations and toxic dross. Oh my God, but that's where we're at. You know, it's all or nothing. This is the time to get rid of it. Get rid of those etheric, what is it? Karmic incrustations and toxic dross. Come on, my friends, we've got to do this stuff. Go within to find your rainbow treasure house. I'm feeling, you know, mildly hysterical at this point. I think just because it's almost become just so ridiculous. It's this last quarter of 2025. It's full on. It's full on. And it's as though we're on this roller coaster and, you know, we think we've done all the twists and turns, and then we see the last one and it's like, oh my God, I don't want to go up there. I can't do this. You're on the ride. You're going to do it, whether you like it or not. And it will be all right in the end. But I do think a sense of humour and keeping it light is very important right now, because I don't think there's many people hopefully watching me who've done no spiritual work through 2025, who haven't at least tried to do all the stuff we talk about every month on this channel, whether it be trying to forgive somebody else, forgive yourself, working on yourself to some degree, or getting, you know, the cold what is it? What did I say? The cold light of day, diagnosis, sobering up, stark reality. You've got to deal with it now. And if you're now starting to get triggered by me and thinking you don't know what you're talking about, I'm working through this. I'm working through a load of crap as well. Okay, I truly am. And I'm having to face some very difficult stuff right now. And at the end of the day, we just have to keep showing up, turning up for ourselves primarily, more than anything, and doing our best. Self-mastery oracles are self-mastery oracles. That's why I made them, because I know that we're all a work in progress, myself included. And hopefully, if, for example, you're working with them, for example, or any other modality or thing that is helping you right now, you're making progress. We're not starting from point zero. It's been a tough year. But just keep going with it. Just keep going with it. I'll pull another card from Metatron. But I can also tell you that when you feel as though you really can't take any more, in terms of just a situation has got too much, you know, you're just so overwhelmed with it, it's then often that the breakthrough comes. I've got the card of ancestors. Breakthrough comes. Review and reflection. I saw that last, particularly the lunar eclipse, but we also had the solar eclipse. The lunar eclipse started it all off, and I think the solar eclipse was the final one, wasn't it, last month? That's right. But some of us are still in that stage of dealing with what the lunar eclipse illuminated, let alone get into the solar one. The ancestors are here. There's a lot of ancestral clearance going on right now as well. Huge ancestral healing. Ancestral support also stepping forward. Wisdom from the youth in your family also. Patterns. You're able to see patterns more clearly. Family patterns. And then again, looking at it, do I want to become what great aunt whatever became, you know? I have a pattern of whatever it is in my family, maybe linked into addiction. Do I want to end up like so-and-so? Choice point times. Number 9 year is going to try to get you to where you need to be by January. Let's pull a rune. Just like doing that, really. Trusty old runes. Okay. For October, for the people watching. I didn't get the blank rune. I think I've got this one quite a few times before. Let me just get my book, because I don't know them off the top of my head. Before I show you what it is, I need to work out what the hell it is. Right, it's signals. Signals. Yeah, you rune experts out there, you know what that means. But I am going to read from the book what it means. Page 96. It's not reversed. It's about receiving messages, signals and gifts. Even a timely warning may be seen as a gift. Yeah, because I'll just give you an example to bring that to life. Even a warning may be seen as a gift. I had a medical last week and actually doing reasonably okay. Nothing showed up that I wasn't really expecting. But it just confirmed that there were a few areas that I really need to buckle down and see the cold light of day and do something about, okay? That's the truth of it. My shadow side could be kicking and screaming and not wanting to do it, but the truth is my higher self and this number 9 year energy will drag me and make me do what I need to do for my health. That's what I mean. A timely warning may be seen as a gift. It is a gift. It is a gift. No point burying your head in the sand. Deal with it. It's that type of energy. Okay, so let's see what else it says about this. It says the message may be that the message may be that of a new life unfolding. New lives begin with new connections, surprising linkages that direct you onto new pathways. Take care now to be especially aware during meetings, visits, chance encounters, particularly with persons wiser than yourself. When the messenger rune brings sacred knowledge, you are truly blessed. So when it talks about people wiser than yourself, don't think that's necessarily some guru sitting on a cloud somewhere. I'm going to give you an example from my own life of somebody I met over the last couple of weeks who is wiser than me. Because the truth is, it's also to do with wiser than you in a particular situation. Not necessarily wiser in terms of, oh, great guru, oh, great oracle. So most of you know, my mum's been ill, which is why I've been offline. Moved her into a residential home. It's actually going really well. She's really settling in. I thank Metatron because he's founded this place and it's all looking good. But the point is, I know my mum very well. Okay, I'm her daughter. I've been looking after her for many years. I just know her inside out. She also knows me inside out. So, the first few days in the home, I thought I knew the way to handle her with regards to various things that were going on. And then it became apparent that actually the manager of this residential home is a hell of a lot wiser than me with regards to knowing how to settle her, what was likely to arise, potential problems, but also the fact that it was going to be fine. He virtually said to me, Amanda, just trust me, leave her to me. I know how to get her settled. I know how long it's going to take. And I'm like, she's my mother. I know her better. Of course, I didn't say any of that. It was just that was how I was feeling inside. He was wiser than me in that situation. So this is what the rune is saying. You'll be sent people, situations, meetings, etc. And back off, let your ego back off that thinks it knows best how to navigate this new path, yes? Because there will be other people or energies that will know better than you because they're experts in your field, in their field, for example. So that's just one example. So take care now to be especially aware during visits, meetings, particularly with people wiser than yourself, yeah. And be grateful for that as well. When you meet people like that, be damn grateful that you've bumped into somebody who's got the wisdom that you need in that precise moment for the set of circumstances you find yourself in, yeah? I'm not going to read the rest of it because it goes on and on, to be honest, but I think that was effectively what I needed to say on that one. Okay, am I going to end it there? I think we'll just end it with a bit of third eye chakra. This is the Tanzanite spray. I'm just going to tune into my own third eye and into the collective third eye. Interesting. I'm being shown the collective third eye in terms of where it's at. And it's as though there is a very small slit sort of within this collective third eye. It's almost like that. The collective third eye is a bit like that. It's like, I want to see, but I don't really want to see. It's like peering through this tiny sort of like, do I want to see? Do I not want to see? A lot of fear, basically, out there in the collective third eye. And this is to do with opening up our vision, our third eye vision, with regard to what we don't know. But also hopefully to be surprised, that there's actually good stuff out there as well. When we shut ourselves down too much and overprotect ourselves, it's a bit like cotton wool kids. It's as though you're thwarting experiences that can actually be very beneficial and beautiful. So we need to, again, it's about getting the balance right, isn't it? In Libra season, getting the balance right between exploration and opening up, and also just keeping ourselves safe and protected. So That's where I will leave this video. I do hope you're doing well. It's nice to be with you once again, and I will be back soon. For those of you that follow my twin flame videos, I'm going to be doing a twin flame video soon because I'm intrigued by the fact that Atlas 3i is going close to Mars and Venus. So we're going to be taking a look at that and seeing how that is impacting relationships linked into love. In addition to that, I'll be doing another members video in the next week or so, and I'll just try and come on as long as my voice holds out, as much as I can when I'm able to. All right, so these are difficult energies we're all going through right now, but keep the faith and all be well. Lots of love, everybody. Take care. Bye for now. Bye.